What's up, everybody? It is GLC Fast Food, where I'm going to go through a deck and a game within 5 minutes. So this is my current take on metal. I'm trying the metagross and the mallow and the cipher after the results from EUIC. Check out my video on that for a more in-depth analysis on that below. And then just playing the basics that are powered up with your main engine. So you have the metagross and the bronzong to accelerate the energy. You have the Jirachi to get you into the game, and the Rev of Room to make sure you continue to not whiff. And then that way you can play some powerful supporters. We have both Boss and Guzma. I play both Avery and Parallel. And then some other disruption I don't always see, like Hex Maniac inside of Metal. Beyond that, we have consistency, we have tanking, and we have a Zamzenta and Muscle Band that can hit 240 damage to deal with the new whale. So let's get into the gameplay. This is courtesy of Twinleaf. So, if you haven't already, make sure you get a free account. Great way to be able to play some GLC online. And here we are playing against Sun, who is playing the Electric Spread deck. And this looks like Plopal or Alex Carpenter's list. Notably, this is a tough matchup. I do not have Crystal Cave. I was considering it, and I probably should have done it. So they go into the Zapdos here. I just went Dialga pass for my first turn. Nothing really that crazy. I go into Ball Guy. I know Ball Guy and Timer Ball gets a lot of hate into Metal, but I need a setup here. And this is why Lightning Spread is such an awkward matchup, because I feel like I have to set up my Bronzer and Beldum lines. I am able to go into the Metal Core Barrier here, so I at least can tank a hit if the Zapdos can switch and then go back in, which you can see the switch is in his hand. So now I go for Level Ball for the Bronzong. I got that Level Ball back from the Dialga. I don't love this either, but I had to get the Jirachi because my hand is dead. So I'm considering the Avery here, because if I can Avery and then Parallel Lightning, that really, really cripples them. Lightning's one of the decks that just does not like Parallel. Truthfully, Parallel is one of the best cards in the game. A lot of them don't like it. And this is what I wanted. And it's the Jirachi is going down to Zapdos. You can see that Sun wasn't able to get a Dynamotor online early, which is totally reasonable. That's only his second turn. But I was hoping that I lost my little 70 HP guy. So I'm able to get Dialga powered up. I'm able to get into the Parallel. And I'm feeling pretty comfortable there. So he has a Dynamo, a Zebstrika's online, and he's trying to get to the Regieleki. This is a pretty cool play. Can go into the Elekid, has the Electro Power, so it will be able to get a KO here if he wants to. Can also load up the Regieleki, get rid of the Parallel for the Stormy Mountain, get down the more Pico, which can disable the attack, and he takes the KO. So I'm going into the Bronzong here, because the way I like to play against Metal is sniping out the support. Things like Regieleki discard from themselves, so I want to take out the Electabuzz line as soon as I can, if it's, Electivire's powered up. But other than that, I try to snipe down the support. So a lot of times it's the Zebstrika that I snipe down. But since he has no other Dynamotor, I decide to go for that. I take that down with the Iron Crown. I love that Iron Crown still works with Parallel and Avery, because it keeps them at 3, by the way. So now his board's pretty weak from a Lightning perspective. He doesn't want these 3 attackers on here. I know Elekid's a bit of a pivot. He has no Dynamotor. So I was able to get through that with the Parallel and the Gust. Pretty nice showing from coming back from a slow start. And then the Iron Crown is able to take the KO there and set up with the Zamzenta. This is where Metal has some strengths. Once you're kind of set up, you can just sort of sit on it a little bit. Sometimes Zamzenta is a bit of a checkmate, because you can just have him chilling there on the bench with 3 energies, and if you have another attacker powered up in the active, then it feels great. Notably here, if they do not bench, then the Iron Crown would not be able to hit the 120. So, that's something they could have considered, was maybe like a Guzma line. I'm not even sure if they really had it, because at the same time, too, they need to set up. Their hand would be dead, but this is where the Zebstrika is so good. And so they're able to put the 40 down, but, without the Electivire taking off, which would have been hard for them to power up, I'm down to 2 prizes, so I'm actually feeling not that threatened from the 40-40. So I go into the Zamzenta. I load up the Dialga. I put 4 energies on it, so that way it has the right math for the Electivire. Just trying to think, Lightning has nothing too tanky, but just want to make sure I have the right math. So go into there with that. And like I said, this kind of feels like a checkmate. You can have the Dialga on the bench. I thought they were going to try to stop the Bronzong there, and that might have been a play. That would have been best for them. But in that situation, I would have gone metang, attach, and then a skateboard. So that would have been the route there. We're actually going to show a game sometime this week. I play Lightning Spread a couple times against Akko Blubber to show the other side of it. I think Lightning Spread's in a really good spot, and this is actually a really cool matchup for that. Let me know what you think of this gameplay, and looking forward to seeing some more Twinleaf replays from you guys, or just your experiences with Twinleaf in general. Thanks for watching.